Accountability, accountability, accountability. I hear that so much, especially in sales, real estate, and life. That is something that we all struggle with. I don't know why. And I'm human. I have my human experience just as you do, but I really think accountability is something that a lot of clients come to me that are coaching clients that say that's the number one thing they're looking for is accountability. It's what people look for when they go to a trainer at the gym. It's someone to push you and say, you can do one more rep. You can show up. You said you're going to show up. You need to do it. Because sometimes the voices in our head tell us not to, or it's so comfortable here. You know, you don't need to make those calls. You don't need to go to the gym. So it's interesting when you think about why accountability is so important. I listed it in part of my top 10 systems. And I think accountability is probably one of the most important things when you're going to be successful, especially working for yourself in real estate. If you're a mom, you're accountable for so much, especially if you're a working mom and you're married. You're probably accountable for your kids, getting them to school, making sure they're getting their homework done, making sure they're disciplined and raised correctly. You're probably doing a lot of the house chores. Hopefully you've partnered with the right partner and you're sharing in all those things, but there's so much you're accountable for. In the generation I'm in right now, we have parents that are older than us we're caring for. We have children younger than us than we're caring for. And some of us are grandparents already. And so we have sometimes even more than that we're caring for. So that coupled with business and friendships, there's so much to be accountable, and also trying to be healthy. Everyone has to be healthy and live forever and be young. So there's so much that's pulling at us all day long. And so accountability is something that unless it's there and it's something you really want, it's so easy to brush aside. And unfortunately, in real estate, that happens to be having the conversations, which then leads to the appointments, which then leads to contracts, which then leads to sales, right? That's the leading. The conversations are leading and the lagging is the sales. But everyone wants to focus on the sales and they want to be accountable for the sales. They want to talk about how many deals I closed or how much money I made. They don't want to talk about how many calls I made. It's very interesting. So one of the things I figured out with accountability, and especially understanding how to help people with accountability as a coach, is really looking at what are the 5 things that I look at that help with accountability. And I think if you use some of these, it's probably going to help you keep accountable and get to the things that you want in life, whatever outcomes you're having that you've placed in front of you, your goals. And that leads me to number 1, have the end in mind. Have the end in mind. Having the end in mind means, what are you going for? What is it that you want? And why do you want it? I say this probably on every single call that I have with my clients. What do you want and why do you want it? And I challenge them because a lot of time people, they think they want something, but they really want something else. And so you have to keep visiting it. And guess what? You're human. You get to change your mind. Life changes. You change situations. Your family status changes. The things I wanted when I was 25 are not the things I want now that I'm going to be 49 here soon. So come on now. So think about that. So what do you want? Have the end in mind. So what is the goal that you want to achieve? And why do you want to achieve it? That's a really big piece, because if you don't have something you're working for, all these things you're being accountable to really are going to be hard to keep doing when you don't feel like it, or you're just having a bad day, or so many things are getting in the way and you're just not going to do it. I would write it out. I would try it on for size. Is it something that's pushing you? Is it something that makes you feel like pumped and excited, that keeps you excited? Is it a must? Like, why must you have this end? Like, for people that need to eat and pay their bills, I find that those people send more houses because they don't have mom and dad helping them. They don't have a rich husband or wife. It's on them. And if they don't sell their house, they're not going to have a house to live in. They're not going to have food to eat. They're going to be really, unfortunately, not going to be able to take care of their children. So the necessity sometimes is the must for some. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a dream. Sometimes it's the achievement of being number 1. Sometimes it's, I want to prove everybody wrong, right? Whatever it is for you, you got to figure that out. And that's the end in mind. That's number 1. Number 2 is going to be something called habit stacking. If you've ever read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, highly recommend it. I've probably heard him so many times. I read him a few years ago. It's very easy to read, very simple to read. And he created a book called Atomic Habits, and he mentions habit stacking. What habit stacking is basically you have a habit. Let's say like brushing your teeth or taking a shower or something that you do easily because it's a habit already. It's already been wired in your body to do this. So let's just say brushing your teeth, for example, or getting ready in the morning, putting your makeup on, doing your hair, getting ready to go. So if you're wanting to implement something like listening to personal growth books or sales scripting or things like that, maybe you could have it playing while you're getting ready, right? Because you're already doing that habit. It's easier to stack another habit with it. For me, I have to drink this apple cider vinegar with water in the morning it's like a healthy thing. And it's gross. And I do it before my brain wakes up. I'll do it because I know as soon as I have that, then I can have my coffee. But the coffee is a habit for me. So if I don't let myself get that coffee until that's done, I've stacked those two together. So think about areas in your life that you can have it stacked that you really want to be accountable on. So if there's something like you love to do, like scroll social media or have fun or play games on your video, or if you're going to work out and you know you're good at working out, maybe taking a walk and making your calls. So if making your calls is something you're struggling with, that might be something to work with, right? So the habit stacking is a really, really great, powerful tool that you can use to help your accountability. 3 is partnering with the right people. And I say that very loosely because every person is different and you may have different groups of people for different parts of your life. So if you're someone that's really into video, like I'm trying to do video, so I'm really putting myself around people that are going to push me and encourage me to do more long form video. I have a coach specializing in that, Aaron Chuha, and I had an amazing call with him, which explained why I need to upload 2 videos a week. And I'm like, what? But he's pushing me. See, that's accountability. And he explained to me why. And I have a media company helping me with the editing and thumbnails. That's accountability. So that I know when I send it and it comes back, I need to post it, right? I have accountability with my calendar. It's letting me go done. And I have people asking me, how's your video going? And how's your channel going? So it's letting people know that this is what I want to do and they're cheering me on. It's your hype squad. It's really important. That's probably like your masterminds, whatever you're working towards. If it's sales and you're wanting to get better at scripting, go in a place where you're not that great. Go in a place where everyone's better than you. It's the concept of going into the right room or going into the room that you don't feel like you should be in. I know it's really scary. That kind of goes with the imposter syndrome video, because sometimes you want to go to a room and you don't feel like you're qualified. You don't feel like you have the right money or the right connections, and you don't feel like you're big enough. But I promise, if you go into a room that's sometimes so much bigger than you are, it will help you stretch and grow. It's like the koi fish will grow as large as the pond is. So if you give it a bigger pond, it'll grow more. But if you're around people that are smaller than you, not physically or trying to diminish people, it's not an intellectual thing. It's about growth mindset. It's about people stretching themselves. If you're around healthy people and you want to be healthy, you're probably going to be healthy. But if you say you want to be healthy and you're hanging out at the bar, people that smoke, that want to eat fried food, you're probably not going to be that healthy. So that would be an example of it. So if you want to be around top performers, if you want to be a top performer, get you in the room with the top performers. Easy as that. They're going to definitely make you accountable because you're going to see everybody at a complete different level. And anybody that's top of their game is going to encourage you, not put you down. So people that are putting you down or second guessing what you're doing or saying, who does she think she is? Or whatever those negative comments are people that are jealous, people that are sad that they can't push forward and follow their dreams. And so they're going to criticize you. It has nothing to do with you. And anyways, there's that saying that someone's opinion of you is none of your business. And that's the truth. That's a big one. So let's pause on that. The 4th is your coach or a mentor. For me, it's coaches. And gosh, the more I double down on investing in myself, in my education, in my development and trainings. And the big thing is to train and implement, execute, train, do. Don't just train, read. You gotta take action. You must take action, because if you just keep putting knowledge in your head and you don't do anything with it, it just goes nowhere. It's absolutely useless for you. And then you become known as like the conference junkie or the reading junkie or the person that constantly needs to get degrees but doesn't do anything with it. Don't be that person. So definitely your coach or coaches to help you get to the next level. Whatever you want to do, get a coach in that area that you want to grow in. Okay, because you will grow, because they know better than you and they can guide you, and they have no vested interest but for you to succeed. Okay, and all the focus is on you. 5 is going to be a repeat from a couple other videos because it's something we fail to do. We have to praise ourselves and celebrate our journey and the success we've come from. If you're doing accountability because you want to grow, if you're tracking and measuring, which is so important, with accountability, because whatever you focus on grows. So if you've decided I want to have accountability in this area, you're focusing on it. So you're going to grow it if you track and measure it. You need to celebrate where you started and where you're at, because the middle is someplace that very few people know how to celebrate. We're always looking for the end. We always want to look for that trophy and the reward instead of looking at like, gosh, last year I was only doing that. And now I'm implementing all these systems and I'm doing video and I'm, helping all these people. How amazing is that? Taking a moment to celebrate yourself and maybe giving yourself a reward, like for monthly places. If you do all your calls every week, if you're trying to have lead gen, if you track and measure, there's a new challenge that Tom Ferry's doing. It's a 100 key challenge a lot of my clients are signing up for. It's for them to get in the habit of making those phone calls, for following up with their clients, trying to get more listings, because they're leaving business on the table and clients are going to other agents because they feel like they've been abandoned. It's really sad. So you're doing a disservice to the people that you served before, that they loved you, but because you failed to follow up and do your job, they're going to use someone else. That's on you. So what do you need to do to make that not happen, right? And then you can celebrate it. So if you get something or you do something for 10 days straight that you never were able to do more than 3 days, maybe you do a little celebration. Maybe you go to a dinner. Maybe you get a dessert that you love. Maybe you do a workout. Maybe you buy an outfit. I don't know. It's different for everybody, right? So making sure that you look at where you've come from and where you're going and rewarding yourself through the process is so, so, so important. Instead of berating yourself going, oh my God, I didn't do it again. I'm a horrible person. Like, that's going to get you nowhere. Okay, let's think about being more positive in growth. And that is a huge, huge piece. And that's the last one I'm going to leave you on, because I think it's the most important. If you don't celebrate your wins, it's like, what is this all for at some point? You're going to get burned out. You're going to feel like you didn't accomplish anything because you're not tracking and celebrating as you're going along. And it takes away a piece of joy that you could be doing every once in a while, right? Doing a little joyful dance, right? And that's something you need to really think about. I think one thing I really want to stress again that I started with is figuring out, what do you need to be accountable for and why? And at the end of the day, if you've implemented all 5 things and other things that you've done, you can share with me in the comments below. If you have other implementations, I'd love to know. And you're still not able to get it done, you got to really ask yourself this question. Do I really need to be accountable for that? Or am I doing everything to sabotage that because I don't really want what I said I wanted? So really take a deep look inside of yourself on what you say you want and why you want it. Because that's the leverage you're going to need to get through tough days, to get through days you don't want to do it, when you're sick, when it's not convenient, and you're not feeling it, and then you don't have the vibe. And that's the difference between creating a standard for yourself or just tolerating whatever you want in business and life. And that's a really, really epic thing to think about. Really, if you think about accountability, and I heard this from my last business mastery training, is that, are you an A player? Because A players love to be measured at report card day. They have all their numbers tight. They do everything they're supposed to do. They're A players. C players, not so much. They're more wishy-washy. They're like, oh, sometimes they get an A, sometimes they get a D, sometimes they don't show up and they get a 0. Are you an A player or a C player in life, in your business? And think about this. Like, what are your standards? Like, where do you decide this is my standard? And no matter what, this is what I'm going to be. That's accountability, right? That's what you're tolerating in your life and business. And what are you allowing into your life as well, in your relationships, your clientele, how you're doing in business? Something to think about, because it all goes in line together with accountability. And I highly, highly encourage you to really think about that, because it's a really hard thing to come up with. And sometimes it's superficial why you want things. And so that's why you're not able to finish the accountability to get it done, because it's too superficial. There isn't a why must you do this. There isn't that lever you need that pulls you, to forces you or compels you to get it done. So that's why I say circle back and figure out why is it a must for you, and then see if you can implement those 5 items. And I'm just curious as well, what other things do you do if you're really good at accountability? If you're my people out there that are freaking hitting it and successful, I would love to know. Share in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you want to continue to see amazing content on how to grow your business in real estate and life, and all things inspiring. That's what I want to be, is inspiring to help specifically women in business, and those that support women in business as well. So have a great day and see you next time.